So I want to bring out someone who has been around this environment forever. He's one of the co-founders, obviously the co-founders of the company, and it's Scott Martineau, and he's going to chat about a passion. I think he's very passionate about what he's excited about, and I think you're going to find some cool opportunities to give back, to serve, to contribute in a way that's measurable and tangible. Not just feels good, but actually is doing good. So please stay standing, and welcome to the stage with a big round of applause. Scott, give Scott Martineau a big hand. No, I said a big hand. Yo, yo, yo!
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Take a seat. I am so excited to be here. I let Clayton have a lot of the fun up on stage, but I wanted to be up here to talk to you about something I'm really passionate about today. Yesterday, Clayton and I and some of the other leaders at Infusionsoft were sitting in a media and analyst interview. We were on a panel, right? And one of the questions that came up I thought was really fascinating. It kind of stopped us in our tracks. Somebody asked the question, you guys are a software company. Why are we hearing so much conversation about personal development and changing lives and all this other hocus pocus? And some of you in the audience might have that same question. Some of you who are laughing at that question, I think maybe you understand why we talk so much about this. And it created a really great conversation. We had a conversation after the panel interview, and I wanted to share with you what I talked about with him. Clayton and I have talked about this a ton. The focus of Icon is about entrepreneurship in your businesses, right? How do you go and accomplish your dreams? I want to take entrepreneurship out of your business for a little bit and talk about it as a tool in the world. Okay, so just for a second, step back from what we're doing in your business to grow it and say, all right, we've got a bunch of issues in the world. Let's take, for example, a small town in a third world country who has a bunch of problems, economic problems and other problems, and we say, how are we going to go fix, for example, those economic problems in that town? Okay, now we have some options. What are the tools that we use? We could go spend a bunch of money and create a welfare system and try to get a whole bunch of people to donate to help the people that are hungry, which, by the way, I believe in as a form of tool. But another option is we could say, how can we go light on fire a few entrepreneurs and see what happens to that community? How many of you put your money on entrepreneurship as the tool? Yes, and so do we. That is our belief. So when we say at Infusionsoft, and we spend a lot of time talking about the fact that we want to change the world by helping small businesses succeed, that's what's behind it. We believe entrepreneurship has the ability to completely change the game. And it does that in a few ways. One, all of you have felt this. Entrepreneurship changes the entrepreneur. How many of you feel like you are a different person because of the pressure and the burden and the learning that you've had to go through? Yeah. It's like growth. It's like every day is full of growth, right? What about your team members? How many of you feel like you've blessed the lives of your team member? Maybe sometimes you make them not feel very good, right? But you have the opportunity to create an environment where they spend more time than they spend at home, and you can impact their lives, right? Then you get outside of your business. How many of you have seen an impact in your business or another small business in your community, right? We see it. Then you look at a country, right? So we believe that entrepreneurship has the ability to literally change small businesses' lives, economies, and countries. That's what it's all about at the core. So I want to talk with you today about one of the reasons that we support a company called Mentors International. We're going to watch a video in a second about what they're doing and have a little more conversation. Let's cue the video right now.
This is Gladys, one of the many loan recipients in this area of Ghana. She is the owner of this palm oil manufacturing center. The microloan she received has been used to buy more raw material from the farmers. The increase in material will translate into increased profits for Gladys and the ability to grow her operation to employ more of her neighbors. She is helping herself and those in her community find a brighter future. Across town, there is a cocoa operation. Because of the microloan and business training, they are having a record year. Samuel has been in business for more than 15 years. The cocoa seeds grow in pods on the trees. Samuel had no way to protect his pods from a fungus. Because of a small microloan, he was able to purchase an antifungal spray that has kept the pods free of the fungus and led him to a record harvest.
Mentored Ghana no one wadwene yanya yewo inkurase no ehu eyi pa ntini ehu ni se won tete ye no se yekoso du wanwachi na ye di nukure ma won a yanya adwuma bekoso.
This community bakery has been successful for many years. People come from near and far to purchase bread every day. Their microloan has made it possible to buy larger amounts of flour at a discounted rate. Production has increased, and so has their profits. There is something amazing happening in Ghana. Only 6 months old, this program is responsible for over 300 loans. Most recipients have already doubled their incomes. Thanks to the strong leadership on the ground in Ghana, communities are being lifted out of poverty through hard work and accountability. This is the Mentors model, a model that truly changes lives in Ghana and in countries across the globe.
All right, isn't that awesome? Isn't that great? When Mentors came to Infusionsoft for the first time, Andy and I donated $5,000. One of the benefits of doing that is they actually will take you on a tour to some of the clients. We sponsored a town in Guatemala, and we got to go and we interviewed about 10 different families in Guatemala. It was an amazing trip. They treated us like royalty. We had bodyguards and chauffeurs, and they fed us like kings. And it was remarkable. And I want to tell you one of the stories. So we went to this little town and met these two men. I'll call them men. They were young. One was 18, one was 21. Their very first loan for Mentors was $160. And when we got there, they had already gone through several phases of evolution. So they got $160, but probably more important, because the motto of Mentors is, people need a hand up, not a handout. So they assigned them with a mentor. That mentor works with the business owner to get their business going. And there's a huge part of the program is they repay the loan, they take out a slightly larger loan. And what had happened is these two were brothers, they had completely changed the tone of this town. And when we walked in, we saw an entire little mini warehouse right there, stacked full of tomatoes. Not only had they made income for themselves, they'd expanded, added jobs for all their family and for the entire community. They had people out doing the farming, doing the sorting, doing the selling. It was a remarkable thing for me to see, just a really fantastic experience. So I want to introduce you to the gentleman who's behind and the president of Mentors International. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Mark Peterson. Thanks, Mark. Come on up here. So we've been investing, and thanks for all of it. How many of you have invested or donated to Mentors International in the past? Okay, thank you. So I'm so excited. Mark is going to share with us today the results of what we've done so far with Mentors. Mark,
thank you.
Tell us what we've done.
It's been amazing. And first of all, it's amazing to be back in front of you again after a couple of years and to share with you the exciting things that have happened as a result of your donations. So over the last few years, Infusionsoft has donated $202,678. That's awesome. But
it's a good start.
But what you probably don't know is that of that $202,000, it's turned into $935,174 in funds that have been lent, and that impact that you can see on the screen will continue to grow as the years progress. Because those funds are not expensed, they roll over and over and over. Therefore, you have given a perpetual gift, that gift that keeps on giving. And also, I wanted to point out, there it is. Okay, in addition, those entrepreneurs that you've helped with these loans have created 3,273 new jobs of people that didn't have jobs before, and over 43,000 people have been impacted by what you have done. This is a great number.
Let's actually, I want to have everybody who's donated in the past just stand up for a second. I know you probably don't want to. Just stand up.
Yay.
This is what
Thank
you've
you.
done.
Thank you.
This is what you've done. Thank you, everybody.
So I want to just express a couple of things to help bring this home. We talked about the work in Ghana that has gone on, but that video was actually shot 18 months ago. We've been in Ghana for 2 years now. And instead of 300 people that have been served with loans, we have served over 2,000 people with loans, and they have been able to increase their personal incomes, every one of them, by at least 300%. And that is an amazing number. We've done all the background work to make sure that that's exactly true. And when I went back to, so that's a loan portfolio of about $400,000. And when I went to Ghana in June, I met about 300 of these women. And if you could have seen the tears in their eyes, if you could see how they took out their one dress and came in their best, finest dress to thank you and to thank mentors and to thank all those who have helped to bring this about in their lives. And every one of them said, if you can do more, we can use more, because we have great ideas and we can keep expanding. The thing that only reason that I came to Mentors in the first place is because I saw a lot of humanitarian work done around the globe. Feed the children, help this person receive their education, help this person build their home. And while these projects make us personally feel good, it doesn't lead anyone out of poverty. What you have helped these people do is to earn enough money so that they can cover their own health costs. They can cover their own food costs. They can cover their own educational costs. Do you know that we have a huge majority of our clients sending their kids now to the university where they could not do that before? They're getting engineering degrees, they're getting business degrees, they're getting all kinds of degrees. I even found out one that received an art degree in fine art and dance, and he is teaching at a university now. And this is what you call getting out of poverty for the long run, not just the short run. I want to tell you one quick story and then end with one thing that somebody said to me that has changed my life forever. This last summer, I was in the Philippines and I visited with a lady by the name of Melchora. Melchora, her husband was in an industrial accident about 5 years ago and was blinded and no longer able to provide for their family. They had no income at all. She had one sewing machine and she was making $100 a month sewing as fast as she could. When she got involved with Mentors International, we talked to her about being more efficient and about using her loans to be able to do more than she thought she could do. So in the last 5 years, she's purchased 21 sewing machines. And she has hired, it's a really awesome thing, she has hired 21 people to work those sewing machines. She goes to the mall and takes pictures of the most beautiful children's clothes that there are. Then she makes the patterns herself, passes them out, and those children's clothes are mass-produced. Her oldest daughter has graduated with a marketing degree now, and she and her husband do all the marketing for this business. But now, this business, instead of raising $100 a month, is netting her family $3,300 a month.
Awesome.
It's a huge thing.
So great.
And this is because of you. And I want to leave with one statement that somebody told me about 3 or 4 years ago. And she came up to me and she said, "My great-grandmother grew up in poverty. My grandmother grew up in poverty. My mother grew up in poverty. I grew up in poverty. My children have known poverty, but my grandchildren will never know poverty."
Beautiful.
So thank you for all that you've done, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this conference. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mark. So, Mark's too nervous to ask you what I'm going to ask you to do right now.
Not really, but I'll let him do it.
So on your chairs, grab the piece of paper that has instructions for mentors. On there, you're going to find a website. It's a website dedicated to Infusionsoft and Icon and mentors. I want you to think about a few things. One, all the trust fund babies you're not going to create. You don't need to create them anymore, right? We covered that. Two, I want you to think about what Infusionsoft has done for your business. You know, I know all of you, I know many of you, a good percentage of you have been on the Infusionsoft donor program for a very long time. So I know you have no problem, for example, spending about $300 in a month. And I don't like that, by the way. I hate that. And I'm glad you're here to fix it. It's not ironic that $300, though, is about what it takes, is about the average loan in Ghana that's going on right now. I'd love for you to just think about what's the benefit you've received from Infusionsoft. For some of you, donating $5,000 and going on an amazing trip with your spouse is in your ballpark. For some of you, and that might be, $5,000, $6,000, that's maybe 20 entrepreneurs, right? For some of you, maybe you can handle investing in one, and for some of you, it's a little bit less. But I want each of you to think about that, and I'd like all of us to make some form of a donation today to mentors, okay? Whatever that number is in your mind that you're comfortable with right now, everybody got a number? I want you to double it. And I want you to go to that website right now and make the donation, okay? And let's do what we can. I think $202,000 is amazing. It's turned into almost $1 million that we've invested to help people grow. Let's see if we can blow that out of the water right now together, okay? So let's just take a minute. I'd love to have all of you have that opportunity, and know that what you're doing is empowering entrepreneurs to change lives, and that's what it's all about. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Really excited about hearing Marcos Lemonis. We're going to turn it back over to Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Let's just take 2 minutes to get it done right now. Let's take 2 minutes. Bobby, give us one song. Go.